we adjust the diameter and then make sure the cylinder has the right shape. Okay, good. Let's move on. Next, we're going to create a symmetrical shape from left to right along the Y. This is a very good tool that allows us to automatically straighten out edges lying on rounded parts. Hi guys, to complete our scene we need to model a carpet and a chair. So the carpet is a kind of a box that lies on the floor surface. So what we do is we create a box, press Alt-X to switch on transparency mode, and position it so that its edges match the reference. So let's switch to perspective view to see where the carpet is put. Yep, it's put correctly. So next we set the height of the carpet about 15 millimeters. And also let's increase the number of segments so that we could create uneven spots here and there. For example, we select several points and drag them up to imitate those kinds of folds like this. So such folds make the carpet look more realistic, and we'll be only adding them where they can be seen. Here, for instance, we lift it up a little bit to make the rim look more defined. We shift the edges closer to the rim. We click ring, connect, and drag them closer. So I unhid some of the objects to be able to see the situation with the carpet, the floor, and the table. We apply the Turbo Smooth modifier to the carpet, and our table has sunk into the carpet. So this means that we need to lift the table and the vases to the height that equals the height of the carpet. So that's one thing. And the chair that we're going to model next also needs to start on the carpet surface. It must not sink into the carpet. So let's go ahead and model our chair. Its legs are made of cylinders. So I create a cylinder, stretch it to the height of the leg, and convert it to editable poly. And let's make the top part of the leg a little wider. It has a bigger diameter than the bottom part. So we copy the leg here and position the base where the back leg starts. Now here we might have to adjust the diameter as well until it matches the reference. And next we need to find a spot where the leg goes from a straight line to a curve. Somewhere over here. Now we adjust the diameter and then make sure the cylinder has the right shape. Okay, good. Let's move on. Now let's select this polygon on the inside and, keeping shift pressed, extrude it upwards. 1, 2, and then we scale down the diameter and also rotate the polygon along the Y. It's the yellow axis right here. We need to make sure that the shape follows the flow. Now let's scale down this part here, and there's an uneven spot, so let's correct it right away by double clicking on the edge, loop, and open the top menu. So we go to modeling and make sure edge selection is on and click set flow over here. The edge will align with the flow. Keeping shift pressed, we continue to model the rest of the back. And once again, we select the edge loop and click Set Flow. This way the shape will change more smoothly. Now what else? Let's use the Swift Loop tool to easily add edge loops. We add them here below and also somewhere here. We can also use this tool to detach these parts that correspond to the planks. Okay, next we click Polygon selection. Keeping Shift pressed, we scale this end side until we get a rim like this. So this plank lies within the same plane as the end side, which is really handy because we'll be using this edge afterwards. We need to make sure these segments have identical width. And let's switch on edge constraints and lift this edge a little bit. So we're doing this because we want all of these polygons to have the same width. I'm talking about the width of all elements that make up the chair, the back of the chair. Okay, they look almost identical. Now let's go to perspective view and select these groups of polygons. And also what we're gonna do on top view, we'll delete outer polygons and add some extra polygons over here. Okay, so this is the selection shape that we've got. Now I keep Shift pressed and stretch polygons to the side. So be sure to disable constraints by switching to none. All right, now let's align them. And then we connect to add more edges. And we need to make the grid here, make it denser. So first, we shift these align edge loops to the side, over here, like so. And now we click Connect and add more edges, like this. Next, we attach the front leg element. For the end side, we set the inset value to 1 millimeter. And let's do the same to the lower sides of the leg. We click Swift Loop and add some loops to the front leg, 1 and 2. This way they will smooth out correctly. All right, next we're gonna create a symmetrical shape from left to right along the Y. So we click Symmetry, select Y-axis, and shift our gizmo to the side. I'm using Viewport to make sure the upper and the lower parts of the leg look proportionate. Now, if there's a perspective distortion on or parts slightly there are parts that don't match, you don't have to worry about it. In perspective view, we can check how realistic our chairs look. So we convert elements to editable poly, and then we need to curve this part over here. So I press Shift and switch to polygon selection and also select this part that needs to be curved, and that's it. And now we select the FFD 4x4x4 modifier from the list and curve the back of the chair like so. Now notice that on side view we can see that direction of the curve. Sure, let's go to the left a bit. Front view. See that these planks look down a little bit, and this part here is flat. So this is the correct position. Now let's go to perspective view. Well, the chair almost matches the reference. I spot some distortions, but these might might have to do with camera lens distortion. So let's convert this object to poly and add horizontal planks. Let's see how it looks in perspective view. And next, let's go to viewport to see if we need to make any improvements. To model the other part of the chair, we use symmetry modifier along the Y. Done. Okay, convert to poly. All right, our planks are ready. Now we need to model the seat. But first I'd like to tell you about our comprehensive training course. The renders that you see on your screen right now are all of our students' final works. Our courses deal with professional architectural visualization and modeling. Our program is targeted at both beginning and advanced visualizers. So if you want to work more efficiently, upgrade your portfolio, and also optimize your workflow, go ahead and click the link in the description below and book our course. All right, now let's go back to our lesson. So I isolated the chair frame and our seat has a square shape. Let's enable transparency mode. So this square will define the width and the depth of our chair. Let's adjust its dimensions. The backside is a bit flatter than it should be. So let's scale it. All right, so this is the shape of our seat. Let's lower it a little so that the legs touch the seat surface. Let's add some edges. And now we select the horizontal edge. Click connect and set the value to 2. And next we shift the edges to where the legs run into the seat. And we do the same here. Add 2 edges and shift them to where the legs meet the seat. Let's align the edges a little bit. All right. Now we need to remove the corners. So let's go ahead and do that. Select polygons, 1, 2, 3, 4. With shift pressed, we drag them down and let go. All right, they're gone. Now this is what our shape looks like now. Let's drag edges closer to the leg. And I'm working on the half of the chair. To create the other half, we're gonna use the symmetry modifier. So we click Swift Loop. We already used this tool today to add one edge below and another one in the center. That's enough. And now we add outer fixing edges. 1, 2, 3. So we've modeled this seat that looks somewhat like the one in our reference. Now after applying Turbo Smooth, the seat starts to look more realistic. All right, next we need to add a bulge. Let's scale down the central polygon to the center and add some edges. One, 2, 3, 4. All right, lower this part here. I'm not looking at the reference image, I'm just building this soft seat following the logic. Let's lift this part. And also this part here. So what we're doing now is building the base shape, and I make edges in this edge row equally removed from each other. And we're gonna need a bulge in the front as well. So we stretch out this part to form a bulge. And we do a double click on this part and hide it. This part, close it down. And now we apply Turbo Smooth to do a quality check. Now, there's curved edges here, so I use Set Flow to straighten them out. This is a very good tool that allows us to automatically straighten out edges lying on rounded parts. It's very useful. Okay, now that we're done with this, let's disable isolation mode and head over to viewport and look for if we have any imperfections, which we definitely have. But overall, it looks pretty good. Might be that the chair is wider in the front or the bulge is just a bit bigger. So we enable transparency mode and look where the seat starts. So it looks like we need to lower the back part a little bit, and the front part needs to be lowered as well. So let's head over to perspective view, and we can use the FFD 4x4x4 modifier. So let's go ahead and apply FFD first, and then Turbo Smooth, and then we open FFD, stack, click control points, and make some corrections. Lower the back part and the front part as well, and this way we're making the seat looks soft, just like seats look in real life. And we can also use this modifier to inflate this part a little bit. And I shift points closer to the leg, and I do the same here. This way the seat will fit more tightly to the legs and the chair will look much more realistic. I shift some points to create a bulge. So this is a creative process, and you can use different methods, come up with your own. And so after doing all of this, I convert to poly and then apply Turbo Smooth, and that makes seat looks good already. So let's lower these points here just a little bit. In perspective view, always make sure nothing breaks the shape flow. All right, and now we need to apply symmetry, and that's it. So let's position the pivot point in the center of the object and apply the symmetry modifier along the Y. And we're always using Y-axis when modeling this object. With enabled 3D snaps, we find the point that acts as a center of this model. We click Convert to Editable Poly and then apply Turbo Smooth and make sure that chair looks realistic from all sides, because this chair will be copied and put around the table. So I'm going to correct this minor misadjustment. Let's fix it real quick. Okay, and now the model looks as it should. Collapse Turbo Smooth. This is our seat. Okay, next apply UVW map modifier, and let's select box here, set dimensions by 500 by 500, Then convert objects to poly, and we also apply mapping to legs. But before that, let's attach the planks and apply turbo smooth to see how they look. Yes, very good. Smoothed out parts look very realistic. Now we only need to correct these lower planks. And then we apply UVW map modifier and select the box, 500 by 500 millimeters. And this will make it easier for us to apply texture later. All right, convert to poly, and our chair is ready. Let's do another check and viewport. I would actually make this part here more kind of curvy, although we've already applied mapping. We can use FFD once again. So control points, select these parts and drag them like so. This way we've made the curve of this back part more pronounced. Let's go to perspective view and see how it looks. Looks great. So select the chair and group it. Keeping shift pressed, we copy it to other parts of the scene. And make sure the chair doesn't sink into the carpet. I put it here. It almost fits. Make another copy, rotate it by 90 degrees. And put it so that its back matches the reference. All right, so this is how our chairs are put in the scene. And after you click unhide all, make sure that the chairs don't sink into the carpet. So let's enable the camera view and lift the chairs above the carpet. Just a little bit. All right, now all the elements are finally here. This is what our interior looks like. You can see the carpet, the chairs, the table, vases, window, glass, curtains with rings, lamp, pictures. Now in the next lesson, we're gonna apply materials. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.